Let's go! I'm actually recording now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Quality Matters. I'm Darcy.
I'm Kyle.
And Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
We're excited to get to say that because we typically don't know when our episodes are going to be released. We just record them and release it when it's available, and that's what we do. But we know this is going to get recorded or released before Christmas.
Yes, it will.
So this one is a super fun one for me because it's something that I know about. So every year our family does what we call Jingle Bags. Mm-hmm. And it's something that I came up with years ago, probably
7, 8.
Yeah. Many years ago. And so we just get small Christmas gift bags, pack them with treats and hot chocolate and different goodies. And a lot of the candy and cookies I make. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of time and planning on my part.
In today's global economy, quality matters. Benjamin Franklin once quipped, "The bitterness of poor quality remains long after the sweetness of low price is forgotten." Quality Matters is here to talk about all things quality. So whether you're looking to improve your business, getting ready for an audit, or dealing with failed inspections, tune in, check us out, then get back to doing work that matters.
And so in the beginning, we would spend several nights delivering. So we make a list. I'm not doing a very good job of this.
No, and this is technically our second go around.
The first one was a good one, but Kyle forgot to press record.
No comment.
So we pack our jingle bags, and we have a list of people that we want to bring a jingle bag to.
Yes.
And I plan a route, and we go, and the kids go up to the door. They place the bag on the doorstep, and they knock, 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 and then they run back to the car and jump in, and we drive off as fast as we can, but only a couple houses down because the kids still got to get buckled up.
Yes. Kids rolling around on the floorboard and hitting the back windshield. It's not real helpful.
That's never happened, just so everyone knows. So we do that, and it's fun, and there's been the question of if they get caught if it's a Ring doorbell or a camera doorbell. And I have to explain to people that this is my game. I make the rules.
Yeah, seeing someone on your smartphone or little screen in your house, that's not catching them.
That doesn't catch them. You have to catch them at the door before they leave.
Yes.
And so there are some families that have been repeat clients of ours that come to, I don't want to say expect, because that sounds like they're expecting, but they know it's coming and it's fun, but they never know what day we're going to do it.
No. Speaking of which, are we going to make the praline for Lanny?
We'll talk about that off air.
Okay.
So now I lost my train of thought.
Choo-choo.
So when we started this, it would be over several night periods, and I would do, this group together, and then on another night, and of course we were planning in between when the boys were playing baseball, and it was a whole mess.
Planning and scheduling is very difficult.
Yes, and so last year we were able to plan it so that we did it all in one day.
So much better.
And it took like 8 hours.
It did.
And I mean, we're not driving an hour away.
No.
It's all in our Houston area. And I finally had to limit the kids and say we're only going to do 30 bags.
Right.
And this year I think we're up to 36. So I throw out the 30 number knowing as long as we get in the 30s, it'll be okay. So yes, it is a lot of planning and preparation on my part, but it's worth it because it makes the kids so happy. Mm-hmm. It makes the receivers of the gift bags so happy, and it makes me so happy to do it. So I'm always looking for creative ways to explain quality to our listeners.
Yes.
And I think probably most of our listeners are familiar with quality and the processes and all the things that need to happen, but maybe some of them aren't.
Right.
And even if you are, this is a fun way to talk about it.
It is.
So yesterday, I spent a lot of time making some candy, just one kind of candy that's going into the batch.
And what's this candy called?
It's called Christmas Crack.
Okay.
It's so good.
It is.
And that's why it's called Christmas Crack.
Yes.
It has a double meaning, too, and
It does.
I think we'll get to that. But it's really good. And so last night I was finishing up the last batches for the day. I still have more to make today.
Right.
And Kyle said, well, somebody's got to taste this. We got to test it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, no, I've already tested it. It's fine. You don't need to test it, teasing each other. And he said, nope, that's unacceptable. You can't audit your own work. You have to have a third-party auditor.
Yes.
So Kyle wanted to be my third-party auditor.
Yes. And I have a feeling lots and lots of batch sampling will be required here.
I think not.
I think so. Yeah. Like,
No.
Lots.
How about I just make you your own batch and you don't sample my other batches?
Not acceptable.
Why?
I need my own batch to do my own external testing with, and then I can do samples from the rest.
Oh my gosh, y'all. He's so annoying. So after he said that, I said, hey, we could do an episode about this. And I said, because even there's something that I do at the end of this that's not even on the recipe. I just thought it would taste good. And so I've tried it a couple of different ways, and I found a way that makes it taste really good. And I said, hey, that's continual improvement. And he said, yeah.
It is.
And so then Kyle started talking about process mapping.
Yes, we do have these conversations.
So when I say quality is our life, y'all, this was like 10 o'clock last night. All I wanted to do was go to bed. I had made 6 batches of this candy.
I only sampled 2. You should let me sample the others.
No.
Okay.
And I just wanted to go to bed. And Kyle's like, oh, yeah, process mapping. This would be fun. And we could talk about it. And I'm like, peace. I'm going to bed.
But it's true. And I did one last year for a ASQ that I called Coffee Pot Process Mapping. And I just like the fun ways we can take our everyday lives. And it's the same principles across the board, no matter where we go. And so, yeah, there's tons of planning that goes into this. There's tons of fun inputs. So,
Kyle, you're going to interview me?
Oh, yeah. That's what you wanted to do. I forgot.
To kind of get through this?
Yes. Okay. So, do you have any selection criteria for the people who receive the Jingle Bags?
We do.
What is that criteria?
So some of it is family that lives nearby. And the rest are people we know that we care about, that we would invite to our home.
Long-term relationships.
Long-term relationships, yes.
And what about the kids? They get input?
They do. And so that's where I have come up with that definition, because a lot of times, especially our middle kiddo, as I call him, wants to include everybody. He's super social, and everybody he's ever said hi to in the grocery store needs to be on the list.
Just about.
And so we have to say it has to be somebody that you know and care about, and we would invite to our home.
Yes.
So that's how we've kind of defined it for the children.
Yes. So then we can take a look at that, as that is the same thing as kind of getting employee feedback.
And I just have to note, in case any of our friends are listening, we do have to limit the number. So there are more people that we know and care about and would invite to our home, but we're already at 36 Jingle Bags and 8 hours of delivery. Like, I have to cut it off somewhere.
Some of it's luck of the draw. So you talked about how it used to take days to do, then it took 8 hours last year. Are we hopeful for a more efficient process in delivery this year?
So I don't know about time-wise, because we have new people on the route that we've added this year for different reasons. One of those reasons is every year Eli includes, our middle kiddo, includes his current teachers.
Okay.
And so those change. And then, we meet people throughout the year. And so that has changed. So I don't know about the timing. We're still planning on spending one day doing it all. But because there's a soccer game at noon, we can't start till after that.
Gotcha.
And we don't want to be playing ding dong ditch at 9 o'clock at night when people are trying to put their babies to bed.
They might throw the Jingle Bags back at us.
So as far as how much time it's going to take us, I do optimize the route. Do you want me to talk about this process?
Talk about it.
So I gather everyone's name. First we get the input for who all we're going to invite, and then most people I have access to their addresses. But people like the teachers, I have to email and get their address and, promise them that we're not going to egg or TP their house, that it's just something fun we do. But because I have a relationship with the school and the teachers, they're willing to give me their home addresses. And so I write all those addresses down. And for the most part, because several of them are repeat, I kind of know what order I'm going to go in.
Right.
But then when we throw in these new people, I pull out, MapQuest or whatever. Kyle makes fun of me because I still use MapQuest. So I pull up MapQuest and I see, okay, well, I know they're in this city, but how is that going to fit into our route? And I plan what I hope to be an optimal route to do it the most efficient way possible.
Same, very similar to the way so many things in modern production lines go. Is, you can read these stories about how, organizations, a single part might move several miles throughout the shop in its original production process. But if you can streamline that process, it might only move 100 yards. Yep. I mean, so there's all sorts of fun ways to optimize.
So that's the route planning.
Okay.
Then there's the production process.
Yes.
That I have also, well, I don't know if I count this as a production process.
It is.
But I make all the candy.
That's production.
I plan that.
Production planning.
That's always been okay. That's never really been an issue for me. One of Kyle's biggest frustrations, because I drive and he helps get the bags ready. So for the most part, the bags are already packed, ready to go. There's one thing that's always had to be packed as we go to the door.
Yes.
And it's little, we put hot chocolate packets in there.
Yes.
With marshmallows.
And so Darcy makes sure that if there's 5 people in this household, there's 5 packets of hot chocolate.
Right.
So as we're coming up to the door in the car with the kids raring to go, shouting and screaming and doing all the crazy kid stuff they do, and then Darcy's running and saying numbers and trying to figure out how many people this is for, I'm like, just tell me how many to put in the bag. And it's so stressful.
It's very stressful for Kyle to get, and then there's only so much room in the car,
right.
And we've got to keep the bags out of the way of where the kids are running in and out,
because
so
they
it
will
doesn't get
stomp and
stomped
crush.
on. So it's a big headache for him. So this year, I ordered a big package of gift bags that have an assortment of designs on them. So I think there's maybe 5 or 6 different designs. And so now those are going to be coded to the number of people.
Gotcha.
So maybe the Jingle Bag bags are for a 2-person family, and maybe the Snowflake bags are for a 3-person family, and so on and so forth. So they can be pre-packed, and all Kyle has to do is look at the key, and I could say it's a 3-person family, and he can get the Snowflake bag and say, here you go.
Make it so much easier. And, while we're laughing and having fun with this, but these are the actual types of conversations that you have in the workplace to figure out these problems. You got some new project coming up. You got a deadline on it. You got all these requirements. This really is how you solve these problems from a quality management perspective.
Well, and I guess that in this scenario, I would be considered the manager or the lead or whatever.
A little bit of both, yeah.
So I've known that this stresses Kyle out, and I want this to be fun for everyone.
Yes.
And when he gets stressed out and frustrated, then I get stressed out and frustrated, and then, we yell at the kids and all those things that happen. So when I had this idea, I thought, oh, man.
It's fantastic.
That's perfect. The bags can be totally packed. And not only can they be totally packed, but we can put them in the back of the minivan. And Kyle really doesn't have to be involved. I can just tell the oldest kid, who usually sits in the back, get a Snowflake bag, and he can go on about his way.
So lots of good improvements there. But that's, so this one's more of actually an example of a corrective action. So we had a problem that needed a solution, and we can't close out this corrective action until we verify it's effectiveness.
So we're going to try to do that soon.
Soon. We can't say when. It's got to be a surprise.
Yeah. We're going to try to do that soon.
Okay. So we've got the delivery method figured out. We've got how we're selecting our customers figured out. We're getting input from the team, right? So we've got corrective actions going on. So tell me about the actual production process itself. What are your requirements there? What's your process for it? What are your steps?
Well, we have to decide what we're putting in the bags. And there are some staples and some things I have changed over the years because of non-conformances.
Yes.
I guess. So hot chocolate and marshmallows is always a definite, and I used to kind of portion out the marshmallows, and now I'm, we don't track the marshmallows. They just go in a bag and they go in there. But we do. I figure out how many hot chocolates I need, and that's all part of the planning. When we make the list of the customers, I figure out how many is in each family.
Yep.
And so then I know how many Ziploc bags I have to buy, how many cookies I have to make, how many hot chocolates I have to buy.
So we're dealing with procurement here and everything.
Yes.
Now, with even the Ziploc bags, are these just the random Walmart brand Ziploc? Do we get a better Ziploc? Do we have the one with the little seal on it?
I've done both, and this year it's actually a mixture because I do the online grocery shopping and pickup, and I was limited to the number of boxes of Ziplocs I could buy.
That's so funny.
So some of them are store brand, some of them are,
Okay.
Ziplocs. And my thought is, they're not paying customers, so they can take what they get.
Okay. But still, we're getting all of these common processes involved.
Yep.
So when you...
And again, with the planning, we're probably going to go over because I'm so excited about this. And with the planning, then I have to figure out what kind of candy I'm going to make.
Yes.
And that has changed over the years. But some of the candies that are repeats, I know. Like if I make a sheet of this candy, that's going to yield me 4 to 5 bags.
Okay.
So then I know how many sheets I need to make, and therefore I know how much of the ingredients I need to buy.
So we've got production planning, capacity planning, materials, resources, procurement. We've got the whole thing in here.
I'm doing it all.
You are. This is fantastic.
And so in the past, Kyle mentioned the peanut brittle.
Yes.
He called them pralines.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
I think that's different.
Yeah, it is.
I've made peanut brittle.
Yes.
And one of the clients in particular really enjoyed it.
Yes.
And the first year I did it, and he really enjoyed it, I said, I'm not doing that again. It's way too hard to make. There's a lot of nonconformities in there. And then the next year, Kyle said, well, you have to make a whole batch just for him.
Yes.
And so that turned into like 3 or 4 batches because of the nonconformity.
So we had a rework.
We did. And for that reason, I have not planned on making a batch this year.
Okay.
There are some corrective actions that we perhaps could take. I could probably buy a better candy thermometer. I think that would be a big help, is to buy a better candy thermometer.
So now we've got measurement equipment and calibrations and okay.
So yeah, that's why I'm not doing that.
Okay, that makes sense. Sometimes the result of a corrective action is we're just going to stop this process. We don't get the benefit from it that we want. So sorry, Lanny.
So I am trying a new recipe. So this year we've got the Christmas crack. I'm trying some candy pecans, which Kyle has audited and approved of, and sugar cookies cutouts, which the kids love to decorate, and we are having a massive decorating party coming soon.
Yes.
And that's even something, we've been making sugar cookies for about a year. This is something new our family has taken up and doing, and I've gotten better at doing the cutouts and everything, and we make the frosting and we decorate it and all. And I just wasn't they just didn't have a lot of flavor. They weren't bad,
right?
But it wasn't a lot of flavor. And one day, scrolling social media, I came across a sugar cookie frosting recipe, and I said, I'm going to try that. I want something new. So we made cookies about a week ago, just so I could try the frosting recipe.
Design and development.
And it's much better. The kids and I all agree that it's much better, and we're very happy with that.
All right. Well, that makes sense. So you'd mentioned at one point that you changed the recipe on the Christmas crack.
I did.
How did that come about?
Because it was good.
What made you decide to try this? Because that's the thing about continual improvement is it's not a response to a problem. It is, it's a new idea.
Well, I'm not sure how to talk about this because I think we're doing something special if people want the recipe.
Let's give them just enough to whet their appetite. No? Okay.
Well, I don't have a problem with that. I'm just not sure. So Christmas crack is basically saltines with like a toffee caramel and a chocolate on top. And that was crazy good.
Mm-hmm.
But when I ate it, I really liked the salty on the bottom. And I thought, man, there needs to be some more salty in here. So I bought kosher salt, not regular salt, and I sprinkled it on the top. And then I was like, that's not good enough. And I noticed when I sprinkled it on the top, the chocolate kind of absorbed it. So I now sprinkle enough till I can see the salt on the top.
So we have a visual inspection.
Yes.
See, you don't realize how frequent this stuff occurs in your world. All right. So that's definitely a continual improvement. Do you have any documented information as to this process?
Actually, I do, and that was something else I thought of yesterday that I didn't even tell you. So I found this recipe online, and I thought I had written it down in my recipe box, and I couldn't find it. And so yesterday I was getting ready to make it, and I thought, I don't want to have to put whatever I've got in my hand down to unlock my phone and find the recipe again, and yada, yada, yada. So I took time to write down the recipe so that I would have it in front of me to go ahead and make. But now I have it memorized because I made it 6 times yesterday.
Well, I think we kind of hit just about everything there. And let me tell you, it is worth sampling. If you would like to do your own sample batch at home, we will make sure to put that link online. But you have to go to qmcast.com/ChristmasCrack and put your name and email in there, and we'll get you the recipe.
And it's really easy to make.
It is. It is stupidly simple to make, and you'd think from saltines and what was it, toffee.
Oh, well, we're not telling any more secrets.
But you would think that's not so awesome, but you would be very, very wrong.
It's so good.
Sometimes the simplest ideas are the best. So make sure you go to qmcast.com/ChristmasCrack and get your recipe there. You got anything else?
I don't. Thanks for listening to our nonsense. And we hope you have a Merry Christmas.
It's Kyle here with Quality Matters. It is no surprise to any of you that listen that I am passionate about quality and quality management systems. There is so much good that can be done in our country, in our economy, in our communities by implementing these ideas. If you feel passionately about this as well, do us a favor and share this podcast with someone you know that could benefit from understanding or knowing that others feel passionately about quality and quality management and the good that it can do for us.